Evening and welcome to this week's edition of the RacingBet preview. God bless Penny's Afield at Pinjarra, winning selection in our premium Discord group. Billy, good way to start the weekend. Started early on Thursday as we lead into some pretty good races once again this weekend. We've got Tancred Stakes and Vinery Stud Stakes in Sydney at Rosehill and Mornington Cup Day in Victoria.
Yep, good to be back again, Tim, and that was a nice winner to kickstart the weekend, I guess. So hopefully we can find a few more winners here.
If you're wondering why you couldn't find it or if it wasn't on the website, that was, of course, sent to our premium Discord group. So if you're interested in signing up and want to dip your toe in the water, then just head to the premium tips section of racingbet.com.au, where we post some extra selections throughout the week and, ones that don't always go on the website. So good to land another one. We had 3 units on that one. We took a good early price of around 280 or 290, started 220 and won well. So, yes, a good way to start our weekend. We're going to look to carry that into Saturday and even Friday night because we've got the William Reid at the Valley tomorrow night as well. Billy, a little bit different this week. You've been playing ball at Flemington lately, and we're over at Mornington for the card, which includes the Sires, the Mornington Cup, the Hariba Stakes, and, of course, the Guineas. Yep. What do you make of the weekend's card? A little bit difficult?
Yeah, I think we were having a chat before the show that this card at Mornington is usually reasonably tricky. It's always pretty open, and you sort of never know how some of the horses are going to handle Mornington. So I don't know. We'll have to see how we go. It's going to be fine weather, so track's going to be in good nick. Hopefully we can see every horse get their chance and we can find a few winners.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you are tuning in live on whatever platform, Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube, do us a favor and subscribe to our channels, like our pages, support us any way you can. Every little bit helps. So this episode is brought to you by moneyball.com.au. Once again, they're good supporters of the site. So if you are having a punt this weekend, make sure you check out Moneyball, and we'll be using their betting markets as we take you through our best bets and also our selections for the Group 1s across the weekend. We might as well kick off with you at Mornington, Billy. We'll go through your best bet and your best value bet, and then we'll shift over to the feature card at Rosehill before rounding things out with a quick look at the Valley tomorrow night. Your best bet of the day is going to come up in race number 8 at Mornington. You're with horse number 12, Ancient Girl, currently $2.50, and it was a demolition job on Adelaide Cup Day. I think it was the 5th of Jamie Carr's 5 winners on the card.
Yep, so we're going to make the Adelaide horse Ancient Girl our best at Mornington. So like you mentioned, bolted in last start in the Morphettville Guineas, I think it might have been. Goes straight to the front and never really gave anything a chance. You can see here, rated well by Carr as per usual. And I think this horse has really sort of found her groove now. She's won twice this prep. And then the only miss she had, she ran a third to Barb Raider and Cardigan Queen. So that form's obviously holding up pretty nicely. I think in a reasonably, I wouldn't say it's a weak race, but I think she's definitely the one with the most upside here. She'll roll forward, and I think she's going to be hard to catch again.
So that is race 8, number 12, Ancient Girl, $2.50 with moneyball.com.au. We'll find something at better odds for the punters with your best value. That comes up in race number 3 on the card. You're with horse number 7, BELSIELLE, at $15.
Yep, so BELSIELLE resumes here. Sort of went into a new level last prep. She won well fresh, broke her maiden first up last prep, and then she went on to win a couple of races in town. She gets back, and I think she's going to be suited by a reasonably hot speed here. Obviously, you got Midwest, Starry Legend in the race, so it's going to be on up top. She'll get back. She's jumped out really well. She's won that in the lead up to this, and I think she can be sort of one of them who gets back and runs over the top. So around $15, I think we can have something on her each way.
Very good. Race 3, number 7, BELSIELLE. If you've got any thoughts to add throughout the show, if you've got any questions you want answered on any runners or races in particular, make sure you fire them through. We'll try and feature them as we go throughout the show. We had plenty of good interaction last week. If you are watching in live, make sure you send through any thoughts that you have. All right, let's get over to Rosehill. Like I said, we've got 2 feature races on the card, Billy. We've got the Tancred Stakes and also the Vinery Stud Stakes for the 3-year-old fillies. I'm going to make my best bet in the Tancred. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Have you had a look at either race yet?
Yeah, so this looks a pretty tricky meeting overall, and the Tancred's probably a tough race, I guess, with the unknown sort of weather. I mean, it's predicted to rain pretty heavy, and I mean, a few of these at the top of the market are a bit suspect on real bottomless track, so it's going to be interesting how it plays out. I don't mind a couple at a price here, but I'll let you start off.
Yeah, well, like you mentioned, I think the fascinating angle is that there's up to 25 mils of rain predicted. So if all that's to hit, or if any of that's to hit, really, we could be playing in the heavy range. And you look at Tinkerdover's record, and he's had 4 starts on heavy ground for no placings, albeit it was only beaten just over a length by Very Elegant in the Chipping Norton. Then you get down to Joace down the bottom. She's had 3 goes on heavy tracks for no placings. Once again, she was a little bit luckless in that Chipping Norton, beaten just over a length and a half by Very Elegant. So it does spice the race up a little bit, because the third one in the market is horse number 2, Spanish Mission. Of course, Peter Moody, James McDonald. There was plenty of conjecture about the ride in the Australian Cup at Flemington last start. Probably went a little quick out in front. Now, Duo's beating by 2 3/4 lengths on that occasion. But like I've just said, the race was pretty well set up for something coming home from the back of the field. Now, he's only had 1 start on rain-affected ground. 2 starts on rain-affected ground. One of them was a win, but he's yet to face a heavy track. I think off air, Billy, you were saying that Peter Moody was saying he's not sure if the horse will love the heavy ground.
Yeah, I think he said if it was proper heavy, he was a bit unsure. So we'll have to see how that plays out.
Which has kind of thrown me, because I was prepared to make him my best of the day at Rosehill. I thought first up, he was obviously very good in the Carline Cup. Second up in the Australian Cup, he was obviously very good. We've spoken about how they went fairly quickly up the front, and he was only run down, the final 7,500 metres. Third up from a spell, 3 starts, 2 wins, and a 3rd placing. Like I said, the big query is that heavy track, but it's also a query for the other 2 at the top of the market. So I thought if he was to work forward from barrier 11 and, stepping up to 2,400 as well, we know he's going to stay the trip. He's won up to 3,600. So trip will be no concern for him. I thought $4 with Moneyball was a pretty decent price, all things considered. So made him on a very, very difficult card my best of the day. And this was him in the Australian Cup. You can see J-Mac out in front. He sticks on really well. This is the 300, and he's already full bore and under the pump. And you can see Joyce coming right down the outside here from the back of the field, with Tinkerdover getting into second there. So he didn't lay down. He kept plugging on after going really quickly out the front, and I thought it was a good run overall. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I mean, I think he did a lot of work early there to get to the lead, which is obviously told late. And like you said, it set up really well for Jewis getting back and running home. I think he gets a better setup. Probably won't have to work as much. 2,400, you'd expect them to not go as quick. I'm pretty hard against Duace here. Just the fact that if it's going to be proper heavy, looks too short in the market at the moment. So out of those 2, I'd be leaning towards Spanish Mission. Third up now, 2,400 is going to be ideal, and probably gets a nicer run here. The 2 that I wanted to make a little case for it at some odds was obviously Stockman. So he obviously is a gun wet tracker. We all know that. He's proven over this trip. His first start run, he finished last. That was over 1,600, but it was better than it looked on paper. He finished only 4 lengths from the winner. I think that was Very Elegant on the day. Then he went to Rosehill last start, over 2,000 meters, and that's a track which he loves, and he won pretty well there. So obviously rises 2,400 now, gets through the wet, should get a nice run from barrier 5, and I think he can run pretty well. And Shiraz was the one at a big price that I could make a little case for to maybe back each way or even as a place bet.
I agree.
Yep. So that's obviously third up now as well. He's sort of ready to do something. Yes, to 2,400 meters, and I think he loves the wet. From what I've had a look, yeah, he gets through it. He's had in total 12 starts on soft and heavy tracks with 4 wins, 30 seconds, and a third. So any sort of rain's going to help him, and you're probably expecting to be up on the speed, and Abdallah would rate him pretty well, I'd say.
And he comes through inferior form lines, no doubt. Like, he's stepping up from listed company to a weight for age Group 1 race. So that's why it's 30-1. But you also have a look at his record, and he's had 4 career wins. The least amount of distance he's covered in that is 2,200, and he's won up to 3,000. So definitely the step up to 2,400, third up is key for him, I would suggest. So definitely throw him in numbers. The only other one I'd mention is She's Ideal down the bottom. Her run 2 back and chipping Norton behind Very Elegant was obviously eye-catching and very good. Didn't do a great deal in the Australian Cup at Flemington last start, but she can do that. She can mix her form slightly. The key for her, again, is getting onto this track. 2 starts on heavy ground for 2 second placings, 7 starts on soft ground for 4 wins and 2 placings. So look for her to bounce back. And that should pretty well sum up the Tancred for you. Let's move on to the next Group 1, which is the Vinery Stud Stakes. This is over 2,000 metres, Group 1 for the 3-year-old fillies. I don't know where to start here. I suppose a good starting point is basically our favourite is horse number 2, Hinged, and I'm going to be taking her on. I think there's probably 4 or 5 in the race that I'm semi-keen on. Where would you start in the Vinery?
Where do you start? I mean, this is a tough race. So, I don't know. I guess the one that everyone's going to have their eye on is Gypsy Goddess coming down from Queensland, the unbeaten filly. And she's looking like she's pretty smart. So, I guess with her, again, I know we're harping on about it, but if it's going to be a very wet track, I don't think she's seen anything too wet before. So, that's something to take in mind. But if she handles it, I think she's going to be hard to beat. She looks pretty exciting. I don't know. I thought it was interesting. McDonald sticking with Pretty Amazing here. There's a couple of other Waller runners that are a big chance, and I don't know. This horse is sort of a bit unknown. There's the 2 wins that it's coming into this off were pretty big from the back, and can obviously reel off some big sectionals. Drawn wide here. Obviously on the up, and I'd expect Chris Waller's probably knows the horse is going pretty well, throwing her in here. And Hope in Your Heart was a one at a big price that I guess you got to make a case for if you like Pretty Amazing, because I think she probably should have beat that horse last start at Goulburn, I think it was.
The Kembla Grange Classic at Goulburn.
Yeah, so I think she drew barrier 1 there and really had no room in the straight. And only finished a length off Pretty Amazing. She gets through the wet. She's so she's something you can trust on that, and I think she looks a pretty big price if you compare that and Pretty Amazing. But again, the chances don't end there.
Definitely, yeah. And it's interesting we mentioned that Kembla Grange Classic obviously run at Goulburn last start, because that was the same race that Shut Bar came through when she won this race 2 starts ago. She ran second in that Kembla Grange Classic. Came to the Vinery and obviously won. The other race that kind of is the race to follow leading into this is the Far Lap Stakes at Group 2 level, and the horses coming out of that are notable and Never Been Kissed, who ran second in that race. And obviously Fangirl, who started $1.75 in the Far Lap and was awfully disappointing, but they choose to press on here. Huey Bowman gets back on her. It's just a really fascinating horse of mine. Like, what did we do with Fangirl? I was really keen on her in that Far Lap. I thought she'd just go there and win, and she was dreadful.
Yeah, I know. And I don't know. She comes across as that horse that she could come out here and just win. Like, I don't know. She flopped last night $1.60. She comes here at $6, and obviously she's good. Like, we know she's good. So I don't know. She's a hard horse to assess. I'll probably be against her. I think. I mean, you can't back them all, so that's one I've got to oppose.
Yeah, well, Never Been Kissed. I mean, she ran over 2,000 last preparation, ran second to Profondo, which at the time, like right now, doesn't seem like the best form line, but back then was obviously probably the best form line for the 3-year-olds.
Yeah.
Over that distance anyway. So, yeah, there's lots of different angles here. Like I said, Hinged, she comes out of the Coolmore where she ran 3rd. Before that, she won the Surround Stakes over 1,400. it's just a really fascinating race. But for mine, going to my head, I would be having something on Fangirl. Just Chris Waller, grand final trainer. Like, how often do we see his horses just primed for their main target? So I'd be taking $6.50 about her, and I'll also be taking $8 about Pretty Amazing. I'm definitely with you there. J Mac going on. We've seen the form reference prove, a good, reliable form reference for this race in the past. Like I said, through the shut bar, gets through the heavy. J Mac, good lead. 4 starts, 3 wins. 3 out of 3 this preparation, basically. So thought it was a good enough price to get involved. Gypsy Goddess, terrifying. Like David Van Dyke, this horse could be $4 into $2.80 and win by 4. This horse could be $4 out to $8 and run last. I just have absolutely no idea.
I'll say if she handles the wet, I think she'll win.
Yeah, and may well. That's what I mean. Just terrifying. Like
I know.
I just couldn't go like chips in backing her at $4 in this race off her Queensland form because I just have no idea what she's going to be able to do.
Yeah, I think, like you said, it's going to be interesting to see what the market does with her.
Fascinating. Anyway, that's our look at the Vinery Stud Stakes. Let's revert back to Friday night where we've got William Reid at Moonee Valley. We've got Marabi, $1.75 off her win in the Oakley Plate. Your thoughts?
Yep. So she's obviously pretty good. She's now.
I would suggest so. Yes.
She's ticked off that Group 1 box with that Oakley Plate win. So, I mean, she's clearly an elite sort of sprinter now. I don't know what she's now, $1.75-ish. And I mean, she obviously loves the Valley. I think I was reading before she's had last 3 starts of the Valley combined 12 lengths or something she's won by. So she rails like a greyhound there, and I'd expect she does similar today. But I mean, if you're looking at a bet in the race, I think something on the Inferno, or at least a place. You can sort of forget that first start run, and I think he nearly fell over there. So second up, he's 4 from 4. He goes well here at Moonee Valley. His 2 runs here have been pretty good. So at $13, roughly, maybe 14, 15, could have something on him. I think Marabi's going to be extremely hard to beat, but I'm just trying to look for something around her. The other one that could run well if she can re-find her best form could be September Run.
You'd be brave.
Yeah. So, I mean, she's 20-1, so you can have something small on her, and I think, I don't know, I just get this feeling she's sort of ready to find some form again. That first up run
she's back.
Pretty good in the Newmarket. So,
well, how fascinating is it going to be? Like, she's obviously run third of the Newmarket, third of that inside division across the line. Like, it's going to be fascinating to see how that form's going to stack up. There's so much commentary about it.
Yeah. So, I don't know. What are your thoughts having a look at it?
Oh, yeah, I completely agree. Like, Marabi, obvious starting point, don't have to be a genius. She's 7 from 7. She'll jump to the front, probably won't be caught. Completely agree about the Inferno. Love his second up record. His 2 runs here have been fantastic. One of them was a Group 2 McEwen Stakes win. The other was a nose defeat in the Moya. The 1,200 metres, both of those runs at the Valley were over 1,000, but his record at 1,200 is pretty special. 9 starts, 6 wins, and second placing. So, yeah, he ticks a lot of the right boxes. Mark Zara, he'll be out there to win. He's, you don't get much better in Group 1 races than Zara. So there's plenty to like about the Inferno. I'm not sure what price we're getting for a place. Just give me one ticket, I'll check. $3.20. Yeah, $3.20 with Moneyball. Outside of that, I see there's been Money for Generation, which is the other Oostis runner, I think, if I'm right. Jamie Carter on board. Barrier 2 probably just sits right behind Marabi in the run, you would think. Fascinating sort of race. September Run, and just, like I said, you'd have to be a really brave man to kind of back her. She's had her chances. But, I kind of echo your thoughts. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, either way.
It's a hard price, Marabi. Like $1.75. It's like, if you get $1, like even $1.80 or $1.90, you're kind of like, okay, that's it's a really good backall price. But
Yeah,
it's like $1.75 is that one where it's like you gotta have a pretty decent bet to get something out of it.
Yeah, I think she was $1.65 yesterday, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know." And now $1.75. It's not much, but it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, really interesting with her as well to see what the market does. Obviously stepping up from a handicap, the Oakley played up to weight for age group 1 level for the first time. So we may see some more drift. We might see people taking her on because of that. But she's ticked every box so far, 7 from 7. She hasn't done much wrong. All right, that'll do us, I think. Any other comments before we sign off for another week?
No, that's about it. Hopefully we found a few winners, and it's a good day of racing on Saturday.
Yeah, and like I said at the top of the show, if you are interested in getting involved in our premium Discord group for extra selections, early mail, head to the Premium Tips website page on racingbet.com.au. You'll also find our race-by-race previews for Rosehill and Mornington on the weekend, as well as some sort of preview for the Valley tomorrow night. So make sure you head to the website for all our selections. Billy, thanks for joining me once again this week. We'll do it again next week. Thanks for your company. Good luck on the weekend, mate.
Yep. Thanks for having me, Tim. You too.